I'm with Linda here today.
Hello.
And Matusz, who is right behind the camera. Thanks for being here with us, Linda. For you guys who are watching this either live or as a replay, we are going to talk about IT recruitment and the four-color typology. So we are going to ask Linda about how she uses this to her advantage. All right. So if you guys have any question, feel free to ask. We can spend the next 15-20 minutes to also answer your questions. I have also prepared a few questions, and we are streaming this live on YouTube and also on Facebook. So sometimes we have to look to that camera, sometimes to that camera. Hopefully we will manage this. All right. So why don't we kick it off with some introduction? Linda, I know you are a seasoned recruiter and a seasoned recruiter in IT, so you focus on IT recruitment these days, right?
Yes.
So why don't you tell our listeners and friends, recruiters, a little more about your current role? How do you lead the company? You have co-founded a company, so why don't you tell us a little more about yourself first?
Okay. I am still an IT recruiter. Meanwhile, I am also the head of the IT team in our company. So I still do the IT recruitment myself.
Mm-hmm.
I still go on. I'm also co-owner of the company, specified on the finding the IT specialist for the clients,
Mm-hmm.
mostly. And then basically I do that. I specialized on IT for 2.5 of the year.
Mm-hmm. Cool,
now.
Cool. So you interact with developers on a daily basis these days?
Yes. Still on and on, do it in the daily basis.
Yeah, and it's not easy, right, with developers. They're like a special breed in that sense.
Yeah, this is true, but it's basically we have lots of personalities in the world. And yes, they are a bit complicated to communicate with, specify on their maybe the positions, the analytical thinking, they how should I put it? They viewing the world via code, probably.
Yeah,
they see the world
analytical.
Yes.
Yeah, logical, analytical. It's like me, right? So now you mentioned communication. So can you first introduce us to the four typology, for color typology? What is it, and then how do you use it to your advantage?
Maybe basically I will start with communication, like in common. We firstly didn't realize that we have an ability to connect with people and their personalities via communication. And we use it every day without realizing this potential we have in our hands. So what I am focusing on is that I try to realize the motivators and the values that the candidates have, and that motivates them by the way how they communicate, how they talk about the interest they have in the projects. So that's how I use communication in my advantage. For example, so basically, before I want to introduce the four-color typology, I want to establish the viewing point about the importance of the communication in IT recruitment. Because this is maybe a little bit forgotten point of view, that still on the other side there's some kind of person, some kind of personality that needs to be connected with.
Yeah. And actually I can back this up because often developers complain that recruiters just send them some job descriptions, very long with no personalization, nothing interesting. So is this something you are talking about, like something impersonal, something not interesting?
Yes, this bulk communication, they are mostly bulk communication, bulk messages, are based only on the sending the information about the projects, but they miss the personal part, which makes it interesting for the candidates to read more about it. Because not only you are sending the project but you are the person who is sending it. So it should be focus on the other person on the other side, from you to the other person.
So how do you do it? Can you then walk us through just some examples so people can really like imagine what are you talking about?
Yeah, and the beginning of this message, I always put something personal, something interesting, something that is based on my communication style, which I use, which is based on my color typology. Because it's really necessary to know also your own color personality, to use these pros and cons also in your advantage in the communication. So if you know it, you can put yourself into the message you are sending to the other side. So I'm mostly a person which is really caring and funny.
What color is it?
I am green, green yellow.
Green yellow.
Yes. So I put these traits of myself based on the caring and a bit of a fun into the introduction message. And after that, I start to show the specific of the project.
So you try to be funny upfront somehow?
Yes, I always try to put there maybe a word, funny word, a funny phrase, or funny sentence, or something interesting into the project that I can correlate with.
Even if you don't know the person?
Even if I don't know the person, because there always should be something focusing on the personality, not only that there is somebody that you don't know if this person wants a new project or not, but you want to establish the connection with them, the communication, to start the communication, even if it doesn't go to the become the contractor maybe, or to start the working on the project you are sending. But you can establish the communication, and then you can work with this person, and you can redirect him to another project, or just establish the communication and become strategic in the future, that you now know maybe he and his project in the future 6 months. So you can connect with this person after these 6 months, but he will remember you, your name.
So what you are saying is that you try to hook them somehow with something funny because you are yellow-green?
Yes.
Or green-yellow?
Green-yellow.
Oh, green-yellow, okay.
First is the green, then is the yellow.
Okay, and then you don't try to sell them some project immediately, but you hook them, and then you engage in some communication, and then okay.
Yeah. You can see that some person are already interested in the project. Then the communication is straightforward about the project. But if the person is not really interested in the project, now you have to establish the connection between you two based on the personality, because you are interesting person on the other side of the link. And based on that, you can establish the future bond, for example, that can be the base for you two to work together in the future.
Okay, what are some other colors? You mentioned green, yellow. So I guess there is black, blue, red, white.
No, they are only four colors, but it's really important to say that everybody has these 4 colors in their personality, but some of the colors are more dominant than others. So basically, you have one dominant color mostly, and the secondary color, which supports your decision making, your values, your motivators. What are you hearing, the keywords that you are interested in.
All right. Can you please just give us a few seconds, Mateusz, if you can please check the phone, because people are writing some messages. So maybe there are some questions. I'm meanwhile looking here at YouTube. So okay, so should we go the color by color and explain to see some differences, so people watching this can immediately have some takeaway, like, you know, first maybe how to recognize what color I am, and then how do I use it to my advantage?
Basically, these four colors have traits, the values, the way they talk about their interest, for example. So when you are really listening, what are they talking about? You can recognize it, and then it's basically the tip. That this color, this personality may be the red color, this may be the blue, the yellow, the green. They all have their own specifics, mostly. But now you have, what should I put it? You have in your hand the tool to give them the keywords they are really response to. So, for example, I use the example. When you're talking with red personality, you give them the prestige, the somebody to look up to, or something, some vision that they can become somebody whose other peoples are looking up to. That's what motivates them.
So in other words, you try to recognize which developer is what color, right?
Yes.
And then you know how to talk to that person based on the color.
Yes, the send him the information that he wants to hear, but I still use my communication colors, my communication style, because I want to be authentic. If you're trying to do that, you start to use another color communication style. It's not you. And everybody can see that, recognize it on you, that you are trying to do something like that. So still I use my communication style, that caring, that funny person, but keywords I'm sending via my communication is the one that are most close to the personality of another person.
So what could be an example? You mentioned with the red ones, you talk to their ego. Is it ego or?
It's not like they are the ego-based person, but they like to be, how should I put it, effective, really effective. They like the brands, they like the big companies that can be easily recognized. To them is the prestige. And on the other hand, for example, the green one, they want to be helpers. They want to help other people, the society, the ideals in the society. And this for keywords for them is that we can help build a better world, for example. So that's what invokes in them the emotion. And everybody needs emotion to reconnect their vision of the world.
And yellow?
Yellow are mostly funny persons, and they love to be flexible, creative, work in teams. So they are interested in environment in the company, how the team is built, if there is some supporting benefits for the team buildings. Cafeteria system, things like that.
So social stuff.
Yeah, the social stuff. Because we have it like separated. The two of the colors are thinkers based on the logic, and the two colors are thinkers based on feelings.
Thinkers based on logic.
Yes.
And based on feelings.
Yes. So when they talk, they even use I am feeling like, and the other two use like I was thinking about. You can see the difference there.
I see. Okay, and do you have some examples that you could share with us? Like how have you used this typology? Like how did you recognize? What do you ask a developer so you recognize what color he or she is?
I basically still use maybe two questions. What is most important for you on this project, for example? What was the thing that you are reconnect with? And where do you see yourself in next 5 years, maybe, on your business, on your projects, on your career. That tells you enough information for the first tip to recognize the color, the personality color. More you continue with the communication, more maybe traits you have to justify this the deduction.
So could we try it with Matusz, for example? Like Matusz, what's most important for you when you are joining a company? Is that the question?
Maybe if you imagine you have a project, for example, you are some kind of developer, maybe Java developer, and this project is about for the great company. They are maybe focusing now on AI technologies, and you can have home offices. You can work in the time you want to, and you can be creative. What is the most important thing in this project for you?
For me,
yes,
as a developer, is for myself.
Just for yourself.
For yourself.
For myself. Yeah. Well, for the project, I really want to connect it to my current activities, what I'm doing, not in the day, but let's say what are my goals in upcoming 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, so something rather shorter. And on top of it, then you can build a vision. So if I have like the lower and shorter terms and requirements guaranteed or like offered, then I'm like, okay, so some projects can be out of it, but some can provide. So I am shortlisting, and then I'm looking at the vision that, okay, what is this company going to achieve? What are they trying to do? What are their products? Are their products innovation driven? Are their products customer driven?
Okay.
Or what is their vision?
So you try to align it with your personal values.
Okay,
and
so
vision.
Basically the visions, and for example, how you want to cooperate, how you want to work in this company, in this project. How do you want to participate in a team or individually, or what are you?
Or maybe remotely.
Or remotely.
Yeah.
Tell me about these things, the personal things you want to achieve. You want to participate. You want is really important and motivates you to go on this project.
Yeah, I think, for example, people who are younger, like me, can be thinking about establishing a relationship, even maybe trying to find a partner there, man or a woman. Not only, but from the business point of view, or maybe like the environment point of view, maybe like find some fellows, some like-minded people whom they struggle to, let's say, find, in a street or in a bar on Thursday evening.
So the social aspect is important for you. So can we say he's yellow?
Yeah, I think he is mostly yellow. The dominant, one of the dominant color is really probably the yellow one.
Okay, so now we know that Matusz is yellow, and you guys, if you have any idea what color are you, maybe you can share it also. So Linda could provide some immediate hints and advice based on your typology, color typology. Is there any way, by the way, before we answer, is there any way to figure it out? Say now guys are watching, how could they figure out what color are they?
So there is that traits. Yeah, the red one, they want to work for a really prestige company.
But I mean, is there an assessment like they can now just go to, or
there is lots of, we can make them the tests, for example, so they can specify the color.
They can reach out to us, and then we will.
Yes. Okay. We will provide them with the test, and this test will show them the dominant, the secondary, and the other colors. Then I personally can tell them the pros and cons of every color, and also I can provide them with the some advices, maybe especially show them my own communication, my own examples. of the communications with the candidates.
Yeah, and this actually could be really helpful for you guys, because Linda joined one of the webinars just recently where she did it for a group of recruiters who were on the call, and that was helpful based on the feedback. So you may want to also just reach out to her or leave a comment below this video, and we will take it from there.
Yep.
So now coming back to the question, we know Matusz is yellow. So what do we do? What would you write him?
Yeah, I would write him that he will have there lots of team supports, team fun, maybe environment that are really friendly to his personal needs, like remote working, lots of home offices, some team buildings where he can connect to the other persons, and lots of creativity. So he can maybe, even if it's a greenfield project, I will definitely write that it's a greenfield project, and you can show your creativity in this project.
Okay.
You can be in charge, for example.
That's cool. That's cool. So I would personalize this communication based on his color.
Yeah. In this my personal message, I always try to put there something interesting for all 4 colors. If I had enough information to provide it. If not, then I'm focusing basically on my style of communication. So I will figure something out that is caring and funny to connect to the person on the other side personally.
And I already imagine some skeptics out there who may be thinking like, okay, how can she keep track of this? How can she find time for this? Can you maybe just give us some insights into how do you keep track of? Do you remember these, or do you use some CRM system? How would you remember that Matusz, for example, is yellow?
When you start to communicate and establish the bond between 2 people, yes, there's lots of communication because I'm sending 150 messages a day. But when you start to communicate with somebody and you will already exchange a few messages, when you come back to the person, you can always see the messages you already sent it. So based on that, I can remember that, yes, this is this kind of person, we have this kind of conversation, and we can go on. So definitely I can't remember all of them. That's not possible.
There could be some tags, right? Like email tag, like label yellow, label blue.
But when you are using CRM system, you can put there that this personality is probably the red one, so he will hurt on the prestige and the influence and all of these things. You can put it there. So when you then find this candidate in your CRM system, you already know how to start the communication with him directly. So you will call probably, I don't know, but I always like to call somebody, and you can start it, hey, hello, we talk about and I know you prefer the working for the prestige big company that have lots of technical projects, so I already knew how to connect or reconnect if it's second time.
Okay, so the fact that you can get back to the previous messages make it easier because you can just see it and understand again the typology. Cool. Okay. So we talked about different colors, right? We talked about yellow, green, red, blue is the last one.
Yeah.
Blue. Have we talked about the blue one? Not yet, right? So
No.
What do we know about blue?
Blue one, they are mostly the roles are the analysts. They are thinkers. They seem distant and cold, for example, and they need to be provided with lots of information. So they will ask you about technologies, about the how project works, in which phase the project is, how the company is working, lots and lots of questions, and they want it also to send them it via email, write it down after maybe the call, or after that you have to write down all the information you provide already via phone and send again to, because they need time to reconsider all the information.
And there are some stereotypes about developers, that all of them are cold and all of them are analytical. Would you say that this is not true, or like
No.
it's like, yeah, is it spread evenly?
I don't know if evenly. I didn't, make the some kind of testing, but there, between them, there are all kind of colors, all 4 colors. So no blue, not only blue, but they are also red, yellow, green, and blue. All types of the personalities are there, definitely.
I see. It feels like I'm blue, right? Analytical, logical, cold. It's me.
Yeah, you seem blue, but during my career, I met red, yellow, green, and they all heard to other things motivates them. But mostly the green and red are manager positions, for example. Yes, so maybe delivery managers or people managers, they are mostly the green one with a bit of the red, because they are task focused and want to deliver the goals in a brief time. But there are all 4 colors.
All right. Cool. What would you say is the last thing you would like to share with guys watching this, either on Facebook or on YouTube? Something, some takeaway for them, so after they drop from this video, they can immediately use it to recruit more full stack developers, front end developers.
I definitely, first thing will be a bit of advice that who asking the question is the leader of the communication. So don't forget to ask. You have to ask these people questions, because only after that you can have the information to tip their personality or to connect with. So even if you are get maybe the negative experience from the project, and this person tells you that I don't want to go to this project because, ask about what happened, how that happened. Maybe provide some compassion that yes, I know the experience myself, and then after the connection, you can redirect this negative experience into focusing on the new project, different project that maybe help them overcome this bad experience, and you can support them. So this is my supporting personality, but it works because it's my style. But you may have the different style, maybe. The thing is, you need to know your style of communication based on your color, to use it in your advantage, because you will become more self-confident to communicate with the candidates and not to be afraid how it goes on.
Okay. So yeah, I think we covered all the colors with some great takeaway at the end. So I'm now wondering if you should wrap it up and maybe leave this for some one-on-one discussion. If any of you guys watching either on Facebook or on YouTube would like to take this further with Linda, you definitely can just leave a comment right below the video, and we can take it from there. Unless you have any question, which I don't see, neither on YouTube nor on Facebook. So yeah, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Or is there anything you would like to share with everyone?
I was thinking about also another thing that is personal branding, and you can build it on your personal style of communication, which I want you to realize that you already have a personal brand because it's your name. So when you start to consciously use the communication to support your brand, you will become different from other IT recruiters, and that's what help you become the more effective recruiter and give yourself more value in the market. Become different, become special. Don't be afraid, but definitely you will have to first grab the communication as a special ability humans have to establish the connection between people.
So it starts with understanding yourself, figuring out which color you are, and then building your personal brand based on that.
Yes, definitely. First, you have to realize what color type you are, then the traits of other 4 colors, and then start to work on your personal brand slowly.
Seems like a lot to learn, but that's why we are here, right? So if you guys would like to get more insights from Linda, I encourage you to join the academy if you are not inside the academy yet. We are also preparing a course with Linda where she will structure everything properly so you understand all these colors, the typology, and she will guide you through this process from understanding yourself, building your brand, and attracting developers eventually.
Yes, I will try to provide you with all the experience I have. I'm really preparing hard for this. So
wonderful. Cool. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me too.
Yeah, to be with you guys who are watching. So thanks a lot, and let's keep in touch. Cheers.
Bye.